Well, good day, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. This is Pastor Darren Lamont Edwards. I want to thank you for joining me in another virtual Bible lesson. I am so excited about this lesson entitled The Quest by Beth Moore. Listen, let me ask you a question about your quest. What are you chasing after? The answer to that question will help me to understand your quest. For in the word question is the word quest. In fact, if you break down the word question, quest, I own. What quest are you on? That's the question. Did I break that down? And so as we delve into this matter by Beth Moore, who's one of my favorite Christian authors, and I really appreciate her positions on many things in this COVID culture as we experience not just an epidemic, but the epidemic of what we're going through in the pandemic of what we experience. I appreciate leaders like Beth Moore who've taken a stand. And so as we move into this topic of quest, I want you to understand, child of God, that when you understand the quest, you can answer many of the questions that you have about life. So why don't you call somebody, text somebody, tell them that the virtual Bible lesson with Pastor Darren Lamont Edwards, the lead pastor of United Believers Community Church in Kansas City, Missouri, it's going down right now. And let's see what the Lord has to say to us today about the quest. Here we go. Oh. I forgot to say, are you ready for the word? Woo, I can't start till y'all type it. You know the drill. So as soon as somebody put that in the blank, in the chat, I'm ready. Got to type, I'm ready for the word. See, engagement is important to me. That way I know that you're following the teachings. All right. So in Proverbs chapter 27, verse 19 is the text. This is a virtual Bible lesson. Got to use the Bible, right? And look what it says about the quest. As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. Listen, child of God. Have you ever been to the Caribbean? I love the Caribbean. And you know what's interesting about clear water? Man, you can see your face clearly. Clearly see. Not only what's in the water, but you can see your face. You can see the fish, you can see your face. But your life reflects your heart, which simply means your life is a reflection of what goes on, what's really happening on the inside of you. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to say a word. You remember that song? All that. Listen, I've learned how to laugh at myself. So if y'all come in and he don't know how to sing, I already know I don't. But hey. So as it relates to this lesson, that's what I want you to see in the quest. Your life is already telling your story. And so let's get this thing together. Let's get this thing right. So we can see the divine design that God has orchestrated for your life. Let's go. So when we talk about the quest, there are two questions. Remember I told you quest is in the word question. Questions, break it down to quest I own. I need to own this quest that I'm on. Two questions. Number one, who are you? Or who are you, Lord? And who am I? These two questions are imperative to the divine quest towards having intimacy with God. Let me ask you a question. Let's define that. What does intimacy with God mean to you? Would you put that in the blank? What does intimacy with God mean to you? I want to read your responses. Hurry up. Come on. Y'all got to be fast typers. Wow. Come on. Put them in. Yeah. Because I want to walk you through. So if your definition of intimacy with God, I want to show you how to get there. I want to show you how to appreciate the fact you have arrived at that place. See, that becomes your quest. So if you define whatever you put in that chat, that's what intimacy with God, that's what you want. Let me show you how to get there. So in the book by Beth Moore, this excursion, when I take Caribbean trips, I love to go on excursions. It's things I never get a chance to do before. It electrifies my life because it's things I just don't normally get to do. Man, that's intimacy with God. Things I just never thought I would experience with him. The quest will take you on 5 potential questions. Where are you? Why are you afraid? Who told you that? How much more? What are you seeking? These are the questions on the quest. Because you'll know when you're on the quest with God, when you're on the path to intimacy with him, you're going to raise 5 questions. Where are you? Why are you afraid? Who told you that? How much more? What are you seeking? God gonna shoot these questions to you. Where are you? Why are you afraid? Who told you that? How much more? What you want to get out of this? So if you're ready now for God to ask you these questions while you're on your quest, you'll find yourself towards your goal, intimacy with God as you defined it. Here we go. So look at my notes, my scribble notes. You got to get the book, okay? But when you look at it, look to the left. So these are recalibrating questions. I love that word, recalibrate. You got to put this thing back in measure. In Genesis chapter 3, verse 9, we find God raising the question, where are you? In Genesis chapter 3, verse 11, we find God raising the question, who told you that? In John chapter 1, verse 38, we find this question, what are you seeking? In Matthew 8:26, we find Jesus raise this question, why are you afraid? And in Luke chapter 11, verse 13, the question is raised, how much more? See, when God asks questions, you got to understand this. He already knows the answer. God wants to know, are you going to tell the truth? Did you catch that? God doesn't raise questions, ask questions because he doesn't know. He already knows the answer. He wants to know if you're going to tell the truth. So listen, these questions will help you to really get to the point where you want to be in your life. See, they really don't know where the question mark originated. It comes from God. Adam and Eve in Genesis 3 and 9, where are you? God is talking to them. Man, have you figured out your location? Turn on your GPS. This is G-O-D. You done stepped out of my will. Genesis 3:11, Adam, who told you that? Who told you to cover yourself? John 1:38, what are you seeking? What you want to get out of this thing? Matthew 8:26, why are you afraid? Luke 11:13, how much more? Go to the other side, to the table of contents within the book. Just kind of easing into it. See, the first chapter of the book talks about the quest. Growing closer to God is our quest. Chapter number 2, the quest in faith, following God's plan, laying out God's plan and you walking in that quest, that plan. Chapter 3, the quest in fear, trusting and depending on God. How to trust and depend on God. I'm in the plan, I'm in his will, but Lord, I got to trust you now. Chapter 4, the quest in difficult times, clinging close. Man, Lord, the pathway is getting tight, it's getting dark. I got to stay close to you. Are y'all seeing what I'm saying? Chapter 5, growing closer to God through service, serving him while it's dark and it's tight. Man, listen, man, when you learn how to praise God when you're going through, man, it's some incredible worship that you'll experience. Then finally, God, I'm going with you to the end. I'll serve you. I will trust in the Lord. Y'all know that song? I love that song. Till I die. I'm going with God to the end. Yeah, how about you? Let's experience the quest together. Let's go. So the goal of the quest of faith is not to be fearless. The goal is to know that you have never, ever been Christless. Woo! You better take a screenshot of that right quick. When you are on your quest, God is not expecting you to be fearless, but he is expecting you to know that you've never, ever, not one time been Christless. So if you're in a crisis, maybe it's because you're at a point where you feel Christless. But let me tell you something. He will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. And that's the goal while you're on mission with God, while you're on this quest. You'll have times where fear may creep in. But remember, I told you, you don't feed your fear. You starve your fears. You feed your faith. And faith will let you know you've never, ever been Christless on this journey. Let's go further. So here it is. Every goal ordained by God for his covenant people has been in one way or another to get them back to him. Every goal. Go into all the world. Teach all nations. I'm doing that so you can get closer to me. Go and sin no more. I'm doing that so you can get closer to me. Look at all the goals of the Bible. God ain't sending you out to be by yourself. He's sending you out so you can be closer to him. So has God given you a go assignment lately? Go and do justly. Go and do this. Go and do likewise. Go and spread the gospel. What's your goal? Would you type that into the blank? What's your goal? God gives all of his children a goal. Are you going with the goal that God has given you? Go and teach. Go and preach. What is it? What's your goal? Go and start a business. Go and raise a biblical family. What's your goal? And are you going in the goal? That way you know you're on your quest. Your quest is not my quest. My quest is not your quest. We may have the same thing to do, but it's not the same way to do it. What's your goal? Let's go further. So we're talking about quest again. In a world of wanderers, you hold a compass. You have a true north. I like that. Your path has a God-ordained destination. Let me pause there parenthetically. That's a lot of people in this world wandering. Man, they're like they don't know where life is going. What's up, Doc? I don't know, man. I'm just trying to make it, man. Man, what you gonna do, man? I don't know, man. I ain't got nothing to do, man. I'm just existing, man. Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. You hear what I'm saying, man? I'm just, chilling. There's a world of wanderers, but when you are a believer, you have a compass. It points north to God. And listen, when you feel like you're lost, you might not know how to go east, west, but you better know how to go back north. North is always God. Get your assignment back with him. If you feel lost right now, fall on your knees and say, Lord, I'm running back to you. I know you're standing there for me. Your arms are open wide for me. And I don't want to cry no more. I'm coming back to you. That's the compass you have. It's inside of you. It's internalized in you. It's already pre-programmed. All you got to do is say, God, I'm coming. And divine rescue is already happening in your life. Did that bless you? Let me show you something else. So the quest sometimes is for peace. But can I tell you, peace begins in the home. How many of you right now need peace in your home? Man, Lord, I can have intimacy with you if I got peace at the crib. Peace in the house. Then peace, for those of you who need it, is in the workplace or in the school or in the workplace, wherever that assignment outside the home might be. God, give me peace on the job. I want you to know God will give you that. But then on the other side, sometimes the quest is understanding that meowing time is over. It's time to roar. Sometimes it's not about you being the lamb. Sometimes you got to be the lion. Sometimes you got to rise up. You got to rise up. I'll say it again. You got to rise up. It's your time to roar. It's your time to make a pronouncement. It's your time to command order in your life. It's your time to decree. It's your time to declare. It's your time to say, I am here, and by the power of God, I'm going to make it there because I am on my quest with the Lord. You got to get on this thing, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. You're not here to be aimless creation. Figure this thing out and get back on quest with God. And so if you feel like you're off path, off center, you are the answer because God put a GPS, G-O-D, put a GPS on the inside of you. So don't tell me you can't get back to yourself. Stop blaming everybody else. It's not your wife's fault, not your children's fault, not your church's fault, not the praise leader's fault, your fault. You got a GPS because G-O-D gave you a GPS so you can get back to him. Will you use it so you can get on the quest that God has for your life? So, in the final analysis, I want to give you at least 3 or 4 different quotes. God may keep you indefinitely in the same place, but if you walk with him, you won't be the same person. Lord Jesus. Some of you are saying you're stuck like Chuck. Sometimes stuck like Chuck is a good place to be. So even if you're in the same place, you're not designed to be the same person. It's a shame on you if you're the same person today as you were 30 years ago. Man, 30 years ago, I had a curl. 30 years ago, I was different. Much more immature, though I thought I was mature back then, but I'm more mature now. I understand life better now. I wish I could roll back 10, 20 years and take what I know now back then. Woo-wee. Wow. But if you're in the same place, you're not designed to be the same person. Grow up, child of God. Man up, man of God. See your best life, woman of God. See your future, child of God. Second quote, you and I aren't called to the easy. God didn't call you to the easy. You know what God calls you to? To the impossible. God called you to do something that if he doesn't join you in it, you're going to fail. Man, that's faith. I got to lean on him every step of the way. Somebody just typed that. I like that. You were not called to the easy. You never told me it would be easy. You never said it would be. You called me to do something great. Can I get 5 people to type that in? I'm called to be great. Type it. I'm called to be great because that's the truth of the matter. God has called you to be great. And the final quote, the whole earth is full of his glory. So keep your eyes wide open, traveler. Everywhere you look, you see God. If you don't see God, you ain't looking hard enough. Open your eyes. His glory is everywhere. I remember my wife and I were traveling. We went to a destination to Utah, and we decided to hit states we'd never seen before because we saw we were kind of close to about 3 or 4 of them. And we were traveling along this mountainside, and man, just to see the crystal clear water and mountains on each side and this small road that we're traveling on, couldn't help but see his glory. We didn't know where in the world we was going, but we were loving his glory. I almost got late to go to the Utah Jazz game because a friend of ours got us tickets to the Utah Jazz basketball game. We almost missed it because we were just experiencing, the wonder and the glory of God. It's everywhere if your eyes are open. So, hey, enjoy your journey. Enjoy your quest. Answer the question. Remember, the word question is the word quest, I own. Get on your quest. The questions will be answered. God will see you through. Until